Hello, everybody. Welcome to Creating Cards with Debbie. I want to welcome you here today, and I appreciate your watching. And be sure that you tell your friends about me so we can have a lot more fun with more people. So, like I said, I'm creating cards with Debbie. And if you want to shop with me, it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It is www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And if you order is under $150, use the August host code, which is 9 or N9ZRVFJZ. And that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen also, in case you missed that. Okay. Like I said, I want to welcome you here today. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook, be sure that you hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel and you'll be notified when I have new videos. And also, I think there's a like button on there too that you can click. And also do the same with Facebook. Hit the share button and also click that like button. It helps bring more viewers for me. And it's something about the analytics with Facebook they like, I guess. I don't really understand it, but that's what they tell us. Okay, so let's get on with our program here. During July, Stampin' Up! Had a promotion where if you spent $50, you received a $5 coupon in your email. So it's time to redeem those coupons. You've only got a few days left. We've got until August 31st to redeem those with your order. So if you have any questions, reach out to me and I'll be happy to help you with that. But you don't want to lose those coupons. That's money in the bank, so to speak. All right. And also until August 31st, we've got our designer series paper that's on sale for 15% off. These are the ones that are in the annual catalog. And I think there's, 15 different designer series papers that you can get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Well, 14. Okay. I thought it was 15. But it's 14 designer series papers that you can get for 15% off. And that's running until August 31st. So don't miss out on that too. We've got the Bright and Beautiful 6x6 paper, the Countryside Inn 12x12, Country Lace, Country Woods. Those are all 12x12. And then we've got our 6x6, the Full of Life, the Lily Pond Lane. And then back again with the 12x12, we've got the Mediterranean Blooms, the Perennial Lavender, Take to the Sky, Thoughtful Journey, To Market, Unbounded Beauty, Wildly Flowering, and Winter Meadow 12x12 papers. So those are at 15% off. You don't want to miss that sale going on. And also our September paper pumpkin is called Autumn Abundance. And you got until September 10th to sign up for that one. It says Autumn Abundance. Share your love for all things autumn with this kit. It makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs. Project includes printed cards and coordinating envelopes, laser cut card fronts, ephemera pack, and embellishments. And the Stampin' Spot that you'll get with this kit is the Cajun Craze. All right. And you can also add on the dies that coordinate with the July, August, and September paper pumpkin kits. They're called Every Celebration dies. And these are available while supplies last. And as far as I know, they're still available. Here's a larger paper that shows our larger flyer that shows a better picture of them. Words are hard today. So here's the September one. It's a detailed leaf. And the number for this is 164991. And it's $12 for the dies for all 3 months. But you have to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber in order to get those. So you could sign up for Paper Pumpkin today and add those onto your order at the same time. Okay, don't forget September 4th, the mini catalog goes into effect. So you'll be able to order from that. I can't show you the inside of it until it goes live on Wednesday. It's Wednesday, next Wednesday. So one more week. I can show the front and the back, but I can't show the inside. So it's kind of got a few sneak peeks here to look at. So that starts Wednesday, September 4th. And if you're one of my customers, you should have received one of those already. So if you didn't receive one, let me know. All right, and today we're using the Potions and Spells bundle. It is an online exclusive. So when you shop with me, just click on that online exclusives tab and we'll bring up all the ones that are only available online. The mini catalog doesn't have any Halloween things in there, so they're all online in the online exclusives to find them there. So this is the one that we're using today, Potions and Spells bundle. It says Halloween crafting made easy. And let me show that to you. Here is the stamp set, and here are the dies. Kind of got mine messed up. I've been using them. So we're using both the stamp set and the dies today on our projects. And I'm also going to be using the Unbounded Love stamp set. I'm going to be using a couple sentiments out of there. And this is in the annual catalog. You can find that. So let me get our things out here and we'll get started. Let me take some of this stuff off so you can see me better. And there's links in the description of the paper pumpkin and all that, so you can click on those and be able to go sign up for those. I'm not going to run the banner across the bottom. I'm going to keep some screen open there so we can see better. So here's our first card. It says Happy Halloween. And on the inside, it says Just for You, friend. And I don't normally do Halloween cards, but these are kind of cutesy ones. They're not the scary kind. So I'm going to give it a try today. So we're going to start out with our basic black cardstock. And this measures 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And then it's scored in the center at 5 1/2 inches. And let me bring my comments up here. And be sure you comment when you come on. Say hello. And if it's your first time, let us know where you're watching this from. It's kind of fun to see where everybody is. Okay, so here's our card base now. I'm going to set that aside. And there's that one thing over here. I'm using, our cardstock is Gorgeous Grape. And that's 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And I've embossed that already with our Time Worn type 3D embossing folder. So it's already been done. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up a little bit. I guess it does. So I did that ahead of time. We're going to go ahead and attach that to our card front and get that out of our way. And I'm just using my Old Faithful Tombow glue, our green glue, our liquid glue, whatever you want to call it. And my bottle's giving me fits today. I think it's time for a new one. Well, I've got a little pokey here. Let's see if we can open that up. They usually don't clog on me, but this one has been temperamental. I don't know what the deal is. There. I guess I had a goober in there that was catching it. So when you've got a layer that's embossed, you want to make sure that you get right up against the edges. Otherwise, it's going to lift on you. And we don't want that. Good morning, Becky. How are you today? Glad you're here. We just got started. So I'm going to leave a larger border going around than what I normally do. It's going to show more of the black. Oh, that's what it's going to look like. All right, we're going to set that aside because we're going to be using some other things here we're going to get started with. And I've already die cut the, is it called a cauldron? out already, but we're going to do some heat embossing with that. So I'm going to bring over my embossing toolkit, and I want to put another sheet of paper underneath there so we don't have embossing powder all over. And I'm going to use my embossing buddy to get rid of any static cling that might be on there, any oils from our fingers or anything like that that would make the embossing powder stick. Okay, good to hear, Becky. I know you're getting tired of all that. Do you have much longer to go with that, your treatments? All right, let me bring my stamp over here. Versamark ink. And I'm going to ink up our cauldron. And see if I can match that up. Our lid back on there so I don't forget. And I'm going to let that soak into my paper pretty good. And I'm going to emboss that using the silver embossing powder. Oh. Well, God's got control, Becky. I know my treatments for my Crohn's I have to do every 8 weeks, and that's no fun either. So, but we got to do what we got to do. Let's dump this back in here. We've got new embossing powders. They're called Wow, but I'm still using my old ones here yet until I get finished with those. I guess I'll order the new ones, but I've heard a lot of good things about them. So, all right, we're going to bring our heat gun over here, and we're going to heat emboss that. I have my tweezers over here. So our weather here in Arkansas is still pretty hot yet. We're still having some heat warnings yet going on. Summer in Arkansas. Has your weather started cooling off yet? I'm just going to heat that up, and when it turns shiny, that means that it's done. So you don't want to overdo it. It can melt it or burn it. So here's our cauldron. And next we're going to get out my dies here. I'm lost for words here. All right, we're going to do the spillover, I guess is what you call it. I don't know what else I'd call it, where it's running out of the pots. And that's this here. I use this die, and I cut out of I used the 2024 to 2026 in color glimmer paper, and I used the purple one right here. I guess that's Highland Heather. All right, and that's going to go on to our cauldron at the top. So I'm going to just glue that there. And I just need to glue just the top portion of that. And center that. Yeah, sounds like you're about the same as we are. We're needing rain too. And I think we're supposed to have a couple of cooler fronts coming in, I think Monday, I think they said. But it's going to be high 80s probably. So it's not going to cool us off a whole lot, but we'll take what we can get. All right, this is going to set in the center here. Oops. I've got a lot of the die cutting done already. I'm going to go ahead and stamp our cat on our basic gray cardstock. And I'm going to use the black Memento ink. And we're just going to stamp our little cat on there. I know most cats for Halloween are black cats, but we're going to do a dark gray cat. Oh, is my sound okay? I didn't even check my iPad to see if everything was working okay. Let me know if you can hear me all right. All right. I think I used my light basic black and I did some coloring on him. Well, the side's not working very well. Whoops. I ordered some new black Stampin' blends, but they haven't came in yet. I'm going to use the dark smoky slate instead. And just give him some shading. I think I messed up his eyes here. I think I would have rather just left him the way he was. And I'm going to use, this is our dark parakeet party, and I'm going to give him some green eyes. Okay, good. I never know if I'm going to have technical problems or not. And maybe a peach colored nose. All right, and I've got some die cutting to do, so I'm going to cut out the cat and the handle to the cauldron. I can get a hold of it. Here's a handle. We're going to cut that out of our black layer here. And our cat, so we need the die for that. And I'll bring my baby boss over here and use that. And I'm going to put in my plates. They're hiding underneath all my things here. I've got a mess on my desk. All right, so let's cut out the cat. And I'm going to get me some tape over here to hold her in place, him or her. And run that through. Try not to shake the table. So do you do Halloween cards? This is probably my first time really this year. Usually I don't do any, but I thought I'd give it a try this time. They are kind of cute. They're not the scary type. And I'm going to snip this down a little bit so I can run it through my machine. Cut up that excess. So I wasn't sure if it was too early to do Halloween cards yet. All right, there's our cauldron handle. And put my die in my magnetic dish so I don't lose that. And put that back over there. And we're going to bring this back over here. And I'm going to glue down our cauldron. I'm not going to put it clear up to the top because I'm going to slide the handle up underneath it. And my glue bottle is being temperamental. There we go. It's time for a new bottle. And I'm going to keep it off to the right side a little bit. And we're going to slip that handle right up underneath that. Just going to put a couple spots on that to hold it. And you're right about there. Oh, okay, well, 8 cards are pretty good. All right, and we're going to place our cat up on dimensionals. And I'm going to place the cat right onto the left side at the bottom, like so. And I got some more embossing to do here, so let's do that before we go any further. Bring our things back over here. Our embossing buddy. I'm going to stamp the sentiment Happy Halloween. And then we'll emboss that. And cut on our Versamark. Bring that same paper over here. Oops, this is our white. We don't want that. I almost goofed. I grabbed the wrong jar. I want the silver. Our neighbor's getting new siding on her house, so you probably hear some pounding in the background. And some extra flakes there. I don't want. All right, we'll dump that back in our jar. Bring our heat gun back over here. So what stamp set or bundle did you use for your cards, Becky? I'm just curious. I think this is the only Halloween set I got. All right, I'm just going to fussy cut this out. I know there's another cute little one in there too. I don't have that one. All right, is that really crooked? Yeah, it's crooked. Okay, and that's going to go across the top side, upper left corner. Yeah, we're wanting the weather to cool off a little bit so we can go do one more camping trip at least this year. All right. And I've already tied a bow using right here on my things. It's the Black and Berry Vanilla large check ribbon. And I've already tied the bow on that. If you wanted to, you could color your ribbon too, but I left mine just the vanilla color. And we're going to attach that with our mini glue dots. And one of those off of there. I'm going to put that right on the handle of the cauldron. And trim up those tails a little bit. I should have been using my ribbon scissors, but I'm going to chance it here. Okay, then I have that same glimmer paper. I've cut out some of the bubbles, I guess is what it is. And we're going to place those on our card. Let me get them all over here. And I'm going to place them 3 up here and then 2 at the bottom. And maybe a little one there. The size. So I'm going to attach these with our glue. Oh, that's a cute idea, Becky. Oh, good imagination. Yeah, I understand that, Becky. I had a pretty rough year last year, my health wise. This year's been a little better, so. All right, then 2 down here, 3 at the top corner, left-hand corner, and then 2 at the bottom right-hand corner. Okay, so here we have Happy Halloween with our cat. And if you wanted to, you could put some Wink Stella in the cat's eyes to kind of make them glow a little bit. Make them look spooky, I guess. There, I don't know if the camera will pick that up or not. Maybe a little bit. So there's the outside of our card. Let me finish up the inside. The inside is the basic white, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to stamp our sentiment that come out of our Unbounded Love stamp set, which I showed at the beginning. It's this one here. This one's in the annual catalog. You can find it there. I should have put the page number. Let me grab all the stamps here. We're going to be using that and that. Our friend stamp. And Just for You. Our black Memento ink. Thank you, Becky. Yeah, it's not scary. It's kind of a cute Halloween one. I can handle this. Okay, Just for You. And Friend. And I'm going to bring over Gorgeous Grape Stamp ink pad. And we're going to stamp our little designs. And I never know which way these go. Guess maybe that way. And this one can go over here. These out of the way. And then I've got a strip of our basic black, which is 4 inches by 7/8 inches. And that's going to go across our bottom, just to kind of throw that off a little bit. So has anybody got any plans for the big Labor Day weekend? We don't. Nothing going on. And then our anniversary is on the 6th. And I'm not sure what we're going to do for that yet. It's our 50th anniversary. Can't imagine 50 years. It doesn't seem like 50 years. We'll probably just go out to dinner or something. I don't know. I hadn't really talked about too much of anything going on. All right. So here's our inside of our card. Just for you, friend. So there's our first card. Happy Halloween with our cat. So let's go on to our second card. And clean up a little bit here so I have some room. Both cards today are using the basic black card base. And I'm trying to get my things out of my packaging here without dropping them on the floor. Okay, so here's our second card. Bring it up there so you can see a little better. Oh, that sounds like fun, Becca. Yeah, maybe we should barbecue or something. Maybe I can talk my husband into making some steaks on the grill or something. Okay, this one is double toil and trouble is what it says. That's embossed. And here's the inside. Happy Halloween. Let me get my instructions there and part over here so I can see what it looks like. And we're going to start out with our basic black, which is 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches and scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. And we're going to burnish that edge. And then we've got our designer series paper that comes from the 2024 to 2026. Well, no, that's our in colors. We're using the subtle 6x6 designer series paper. And it's got these patterns, but it's our subtle colors instead. I guess that's why I brought it out. And we're using this pattern. It kind of looks like bubbles that are boiling out of the cauldron, I thought. So this measures 4 1/4 inches by 3 inches. And that's going to go across our center here. So we're going to go ahead and attach that. And it's not quite centered. It's going to be more towards the bottom. Just going to leave a little space at the bottom. So I'm going to have more area at the top than I do at the bottom. Attach that like that. And then I've got our lemon lolly, which is 4 1/4 inches by 1 1/4 inches. That's going to go across here. But first I'm going to add our ribbon to that. And the ribbon that we're using is the peach pie bordered ribbon. I've got little ones here, so I thought I cut some out already, but I guess I didn't. So let's go ahead and do that. So that would be about 4 1/2 inches across. So we're going to snip that off. Our third project today is going to be a treat box kind of thing instead of a card. So I hope you have time to stick around. It might take us a little longer than normal. And I'm going to use our tear and tape to attach that. And my silicone mat, I'll use that. So we won't be sticking where we don't want to be sticking. And then just to put this across the center, I'm going to leave some to wrap around to the back to hold the ribbon in the back side. So a little extra at each end. And I take your pick tool, pop those off. And we'll just run that straight across there. Oh, my head is not in the camera. I don't think it is. Okay. I'm going to snip off that excess. Get rid of some bulk. All right, now we're going to put that onto our card front. And I'm not using dimensionals. I'm just gluing it directly down to our designer series paper layer there. Yeah, I want it to have it more towards the bottom. So maybe like an inch up from the bottom. Right. And I've already die cut the cauldron out. This one, we're not going to emboss it at all. It's just going to be plain. We're going to set that on top of our layer here. Just wait for that to stick down there. And yeah. couldn't remember if I put this all together first or if I glued it down first. I'm just going to glue it down first. And we're going to go off the paper a little bit. And I've die cut our ooze already using the glimmer paper. So we're going to attach that. And just run it across the upper portion of our cauldron. And I've got a scrap of our basic white, and I'm going to stamp our bubbles. With our black memento ink. And our crow. And our books. I think that's all I need to stamp. And we're going to use our stamping pens and do some coloring. Yeah, just going to bring it all out here. Got a mess over here. All right, we're going to start out coloring our crow, and we're going to do the gray granite with him. Or no, it's a smoky slate. We're going to do the dark and the light smoky slate. So we're going to start out with the dark, and I'm going to kind of give him some shading here. And I'm going to come back in with the light smoky slate. And I know our crows are usually black, but the black was really too dark. I kept it with the basic gray or smoky slate. A little bit more there. And then his beak is going to be peach pie. And I'm using the dark peach pie. And also his feet and his legs. And that's all for him. Now we're going to color our bubbles, and we're going to use the Highland Heather, the light and the dark. I'll start with my dark. Do a little shading with the dark to start with. Okay, another one right there. Back with the light, Highland Heather, and color those bubbles. I should have had these done ahead of time. Would have saved some time. It's hard to believe the summer's almost over with. Where does the time go? I don't know. Seems like the older we get, the faster the time goes. Okay. Add a little more color there. And now I'm going to color the books. So we're going to start out with our Lemon Lolly. And I'm going to start with the dark. And just do the stripes on the top one. And I'm going to do the pages of the third one. Just come in with the light Lemon Lolly to finish up our top book. Spells. And then we're going to switch to our Peach Pie. This is the dark. And I think I'm going to do the book cover in the dark and then do the light center of that. And then our bottom one is going to be our Highland Heather. And I'm going to start with the dark again. Do the stripes. Oops. I forgot that third one. Okay. Let me bring back my dark, my light Lemon Lolly. To finish that book, I didn't finish it. Okay, back with the light Highland Heather. Potions. Spells, potions. All right, I think that's all the coloring we've got to do. Gonna container out of the way. And we'll bring back our Baby Boss and die cut those. And let's see, I've got the bird. And the books. I don't have a die for the bubbles, so we're just going to fussy cut those out. So they're not real hard to do. Oops, I'm going to drop one. Let me get that before my dog, Jojo, finds it. She'll have fun with that die. It probably wouldn't look the same again after she got a hold of it. So I'm going to place our plates in here. And I'm going to cut this down. It's not going to fit. So I should be able to cut both out at the same time. Let's grab our tape. Or did we do that? Here it is. Line up our crow die. And the books. Those through. And the crackling noise is normal. Don't let that scare you. There's our little crow. And our books. And then I'm going to just fussy cut our bubbles out. Cut this down to size. I can handle it better. I'm just going to leave a little extra there to attach that. Okay, and then we're going to slip this up underneath our cauldron. And I have to snip a little bit off that bottom area, so it'll slide under there. And you could have put this onto our cauldron before attaching it to your card. Probably did it backwards here a little bit, but it's going to work. And hold that for a second, let that dry. Okay, so there's our bubbles. And our books are going to go up here, but I'm not going to pop those up. I'm going to glue them directly down to our card. And our crow is going to have dimensionals on him. I'm just going to put it on one side because it's going to be hanging over. We're going to wait on him for a moment. And we're going to bring over to do some heat embossing again. And use our Stampin' Buddy, embossing buddy, I should say. I'll lose my crow. And this one is going to say, double, double, toil and trouble. Lots of embossing today. Bring our scrap paper back over here to catch our embossing powder. Tap, tap, tap. And we don't have any embossing on our next project, so this will be the last time. It takes just a moment for the heat gun to warm up, and then it'll start melting. There it goes. Okay. And now we're just going to fussy cut this out. I'm just going to leave a little black area on each side of it going around. This is going to go up on dimensionals. And we'll attach that to our card front on top of our cauldron. And let's see, maybe right about there with our crow sitting next to it. Take that off. And I'm going to add a little glue to his head area. Yeah, I guess I didn't need to. That's good. All right, and then I'm going to take our ribbon again, and I'm going to cut just a little bitty knot with that. If the fingers will work with me. It's always harder on camera. I don't understand that. I need my ribbon scissors over here. I'm going to cut that off right about there. And then that'll be attached to our ribbon on the side with the mini glue dot. There we go. And then we've got some of those bubbles again that are die cut from that same glimmer paper. And I can find them all here. I've got 4. I need one more. There it is. All right, I'm sliding out of my chair. I don't need to fall on the floor. All right, and that's 3. No, I don't want the big one. I want to go with the smaller one. And let me poke that side out. Add these to our card. We don't even get any trick-or-treaters here at our house anymore. I guess it's kind of an old thing. They don't do it anymore. Going around trick-or-treating to houses. A lot of churches have started having gatherings instead. So I guess that's a safer way to go. Our grandkids are pretty well grown up. They don't do it anymore. And right there. I'm going to put enough glue on that one. It'll dry clear, thank goodness. And maybe right here. Okay, so here's our card front. Double toil and trouble. Oops, I got a washi tape hanging on there. Let me get that off of there. There. All right, so there's the front of our card. Let's continue and do the inside. We need our cauldron back over here. And our inside layer is 4 by 5 1/4 inches. Ink up our cauldron with our black memento. And we're just going to do, like 3/4 of it onto our left side. What else did I put on the inside? Some bubbles. And then I'm going to take one of my Post-it notes and I'm going to run that across our top line of our cauldron so we can stamp our bubbles. And looks like they're inside of the cauldron. And happy Halloween sentiment. Stamp up here on our right hand side. Fix up our ink pad. We don't want accidents. And I'm going to bring back our Stampin' Blends. I'm going to use the dark smoky slate and this light smoky slate for our cauldron. And our Highland Heather, our bubbles again. So we'll start with the dark smoky slate. And do a little shading. Make sure I'm on camera view. I think I'm going to just color all that in there without trying to do special shading. All right, come back with the light smoky slate. And we'll color that all in. I'm using the brush end this time. I usually do the bullet end, but for time's sake, it's a little bit faster. As long as I got a larger area, I'm okay. So Stampin' Up! Has taken over close to my heart. So they're going to be adding a lot of scrapbooking things, like the 12 by 12 papers and different kits that are aimed at scrapbooking. So I think there'll be online exclusives starting next month, the same time the mini catalog goes live. I've seen a few things of it, and it's kind of pretty neat. I first started out scrapbooking, and then I graduated over to card making. So maybe I'll be going back to a little bit of scrapbooking too. Who knows? All right, so let's start with the dark Highland Heather and do some shading on our bubbles again. Okay, let's do the stars, the dark. And now the light Highland Heather to finish off our bubbles. And I'm using the bullet end because I don't want to mess up here. I'd hate to have to start all over again. All right, that looks good. Gather those up, put them away. And let's attach this to the inside of our card. All right, so there's the inside of our card. Happy Halloween. So the outside of our card says double, double, toil and trouble. And the inside is Happy Halloween. Okay, so there's our second card. Let me put things aside here and we'll get started with our 3D project. I don't have any heating button going on with that, so I can set these all aside. So here's our little 3D project. I've got some little treat bags. What did I do with them? These are 3x6 gusseted cellophane bags. I'm not sure if Stampin' Up! Is carrying these anymore, but you could probably find them on Amazon or anywhere. Any kind of bags to put food into or candy. So that'll sit in here. And what did I do with the bow? Well, I've lost my bow. Here it is. And then I've taken that same vanilla and black checkered ribbon and I've colored it with a parakeet party Stampin' Blend. And then I made a bow and that'll hold the bag closed. You'll tie that around that to hold that closed. So I kind of see it. And I don't have any Halloween candy, so I couldn't put nothing in there. So maybe some candy corn or something. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with that. I've done some of the prep work ahead of time to save a little time. And we'll start with the inside box first. And we've got basic black, which measures 7 inches by 3 1/8 inches. And we're going to do some scoring. I'm going to bring out my paper trimmer here. And we will do that. So on the long side, we're going to score it at a 1/2 inch. And make sure you're using the scoring blade, not the cutting blade. And we'll scooch it over to the, didn't look like it was scored there, so I had to look at it. Okay, 1/2 inch, 2 1/2 inches. I move that blade down so I don't accidentally. 2 1/2, 3 3/4. And then 5 3/4. And then turn it over to the short side, and we want 1 1/4 inches. And that's all the scoring that we need to do on that layer. So we'll put that aside, out of our way. And then we're going to bring our bone folder over here to burnish all these score lines. So let's start with that one there. And I apologize for the noise. So this is our 1/2 inch score line. And our 2 1/2 inch score line. A 3 3/4 score line. And I got this idea from Chicken Scratch. I don't know if you watch her videos or not. She does a lot of boxes, a lot of 3D projects, which I enjoy watching. So I want to give her the credit for it. All right, and now we're going to grab our paper snips again, which we need to find. So I'm going to look at my pattern. On that 1/2 inch side, we're going to cut off all this corner side. And I like to miter mine just a little bit so it'll lay a little bit better when I'm gluing things down. And we're just going to cut up on all these score lines up to that center score line. All right, let's miter these a little bit, which means just cut off a little hair at an angle. I'm cutting this and my nose wants to itch. No time to scratch my nose. All right. Let's get rid of all those hang-ons there. All cleaned up, yeah. Let me push these off a little bit. All right, and then we're going to, I'm just trying to get my bearings back together here. I'm going to use our tear and tape to hold it together because I won't have to wait for it to dry that way. So let's bring that back over here. Our silicone mat. I'm going to put on the outside a little flap there. And just seeing how this goes. We're going to put another layer of tear and tape on this one. That'll be our bottom of our box. So I think I'll put 2 strips on that. Wash your tape aside. Okay, and take your pick tool. It's right here. Use that to get rid of our backings off of that. So I'm going to take this around and I'm going to match it up to the edges. Press that down and fold in our flaps, our sides, and that one, and take this off. And press that down in the center to make sure it's attached good. All right, so there's our little box. And now we're going to put our cat together. And I have die cut 2 cauldrons, and that's going to be our base of our treat box. And these little things at the feet of the cauldron are going to be the cat's ears. So we're going to attach them to our front of our box, one of them, and then the other one is going to go on the back side. So I'm just going to add some glue to this front layer of our box. And we'll attach one of these cauldrons to the front. And press that down to make sure it's attaching good. You want to make sure it doesn't go across the bottom I mean, you want it to be lined up with the bottom of your box. That's what I'm trying to say. Words are hard. Okay, here's the back side of our cat, and we'll do the same with that. And you can decide which side you want to use, the inside or of your die cut or the outside. Okay, you just want to make sure that they line up. Okay. It looks good. We'll press that down. Okay, so here's the cat so far. Now we're going to start putting our cat face on there. And we're going to start dumping all these little pieces out. I'm hoping I'm not making a mistake doing that, but there we go. All right, our dies that I used for the eyes. Okay, are these dies that I used for the eyes. The larger one I used for the white part of the eye, and then I used the smaller one for the black portion of the eyes, which right there. And I got to find the other one. Here's the white eye. And here's the other black eye. So two of these, while you cut out, they're together. So you just cut out one, and then two of these with the white cardstock. So I'm going to attach those together. And you want to cover up that little slit in that one white eye on the background so that it doesn't show that the black covers it. And the other black one goes over that little slit. And now we can place those on our cat's face. And okay, looks centered. Looks kind of funny so far. And do some more die. Oh, no, I did already. No, I didn't. I got to die cut his nose. So let's bring our baby boss back over here. And I'm using Bubble Bath pink cardstock for the nose and ears. So I'll also do both of those at the same time. The nose is using this little die, and I'll cut that first, and then I'll cut the ears. All right, so here's the nose. I should turn the other way. I guess it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to cut the ears, which the ears I'm going to use these little feet. We used a smaller piece here, and let me see if I can make this work. And put that right up against the edge. Take that in place so it doesn't move on me. She had some samples that she showed that used the same layout, and she made like a monster, which was kind of cute too, but I kind of like the cat one, so that's what I went with. All right, set those aside, and we need to do some trimming of the ears. So I'm going to cut these straight across. Snip out that little hang over there. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on its ear. Add those to it. And the same with this side. All right, so there's her ears. And I'm going to put down the whiskers before I put down the nose. I guess I can keep that over here. The whiskers, I've taken just our basic gray, and I made some tiny strips of gray. These are going to be the whiskers. I've got 3 of those, and they probably measure 4.5 inches maybe. But I'm probably going to be trimming them down, so it doesn't really matter their length. And I'm just going to kind of place them onto the face. Well, that didn't go right. And let me see here. Need to scooch it over to me closer. Might do better if I just hold them and do it. So pinch those together. Well, thinking maybe a glue dot. Hold them in place. Because they're going to move before I get the glue on there for the nose. Let's use a glue dot. Get that centered. Now let's see if we can get them to stay in place. So, and another one right there. Add a little bit of glue to the top of it to hold it. Maybe I'm making a mess. All right, where did her nose go? Well, oh goodness, I've lost her nose. Does anybody see it? Well, I don't want to cut another one. I may have to. Well, instead of looking here, let's cut her another one. Now to find the die. Stand up a moment. I'm just losing things here. Now I can't find the die for the nose. Oh, goodness. Stick to my plates. Well, I had it. It's not on here. Oh, goodness gracious. Huh. Well, I just had it here. I wonder if I can do something here. Let me use my pencil. Outline that, and I'm going to fussy cut it out. I know my die is here somewhere in this mess. I've got quite a mess on my desk, so it's probably underneath something hiding. I'll find it later. Right. Erase our pencil marks on there. This is what you call improvising, I guess. All right. And we're going to add some more glue to the back of her nose. Attach that over our whiskers. Well, and let's trim down her whiskers a little bit. All right, so there's our little girl so far. And then I've taken some glimmer paper and I have cut using the die from Friends for Life. I use this die right here, and then I cut it down shorter by moving it over. So I'm just going to attach that to the bottom. That's going to be her tie. And that'll cover that bottom portion of that cauldron. And I have cut two different, I guess the bow tie or whatever. I did it in the bubble bath or the white. I'm not sure which one I like better. Here's the white one. Or here's the bubble bath one. Which one do you think looks better, the white or the pink? I'm still looking for her nose. I don't know where it went. Pick up a few things here while I get everybody's opinion on the pink or the white bow. Here's the white or the pink. And while you're deciding, I'm going to grab my rhinestones. I didn't have those out yet. These are just our basic rhinestones. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the, I don't know, I kind of like the pink. I think I'll go with the pink. So we're just going to add that in the center of that glimmer paper for tie. Like so. And then we're going to bling up her ears with our rhinestones. Pull those out of the packaging. I'm going to use just the small ones. Let me scooch this over a little bit. Putty into work here to grab that and place it right in the center of her ears. Okay, so here we go with our treat holder, our little kitty. And you wouldn't have to use the cellophane bags if you didn't want to. You could just dump the candy inside of the cat's head itself. So let me close up my glue here and clean up our area a little bit, and we shall be done for today. All my scraps over here. I know that dye and the cat nose will show up somewhere when I'm finished here, when I clean up. So here's our cat and our 2 cards. Okay, let me know what you think of today's projects. And all this will be on my blog later today, or maybe by tomorrow afternoon for sure. So you can get the measurements on everything if you'd like to replicate it or kind of tweak them a little bit. So next week will be Wednesday, September 4th. So I don't see anything on my calendar that will prevent me from being on live that day. So Wednesday, September 4th, 10:30 Central Time, 11:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 Mountain Time, and 8:30 Pacific Time. So I hope you'll be able to join me then. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing as of yet. If you have any suggestions, I'm open to any ideas that you might want to see. So I guess that's about all for today. I know this ran a little bit longer than our normal, so I apologize for that. And if you had to leave, I hope you'll come back and catch the rest of it. So until next week, have a good rest of the week. Have a good Labor Day weekend. Have some family time. Enjoy yourselves. So bye-bye. Thank you for being here.